Hello and welcome to you all from near and far in this beautiful barn as we gather together to celebrate the union of Jack and Laura. My name's Janet and I'm the celebrant for this wedding ceremony. When two people decide they want to make that commitment to each other, we now have increasingly different ways to celebrate that. This kind of celebration can be flexible and include everything they wish, and it's a lovely and unique way to share that day with loved ones. It's my privilege to guide you through this ceremony and reveal a bit more about their love for each other and their hopes for the future as they take this joyous step today. As you can see, we're blessed with beautiful weather, so it couldn't be more perfect. You're welcome to take photographs. There is an official photographer whom you will see aiming to take the best shots to enable that lasting memory. As some of you will know, Laura is a singer with a band, all of whom are here today. As a surprise for you, Jack, she and the band have pre-recorded a song. So while Laura, accompanied by her brother Ian, make their way to join you, here is that recording of all of them performing The Days of My Life. Will you please stand, if you are able, to welcome our beautiful bride. Thank you everybody, and sit down and do wipe your tears. Hello Laura. Thank you, Laura, for that very special start to the celebration. And the band have asked me to tell all of you that it will be available to download through the band's website later. Today is a very special day. It marks the moment that Laura and Jack declare their love for each other to the world and cement that by making their vows to each other. As many of you here know, Laura and Jack share a love of the outdoors, travelling and festivals, and this setting has chosen to be a symbol of that. Later, please do take a look at the bunting around the room because it's been created by their friends and Laura's nieces with world flags and drawings representing their travels. So far, there's a lot of bunting. When Jack decided to have a gap year in the UK, little did he realise that the gap in his life would be filled forever. When he first met Laura, he realised he could not wait to grow old with her. For Laura, she has met the light of her life. They'd like to commemorate these realisations with a poem that expresses their feelings today. And to read it, I'd like to call the bride's sister, Jackie, who was the first to know how Laura felt about Jack. Jackie. Now I'll be Jackie. This day I married my best friend, the one I laugh with as we share life's wondrous zest, as we find new enjoyments and experience all that's best, the one I live for because the world seems brighter, as our happy times are better and our burdens feel much lighter. The one I love with every fibre of my soul. We used to feel vaguely incomplete. Now together we are whole. I cannot promise you a life of sunshine. I cannot promise riches, wealth or gold. I cannot promise you an easy pathway that leads away from change or growing old. But I can promise all my heart's devotion, a smile to chase away your tears of sorrow. A love that's ever true and ever growing, a hand to hold in yours through each tomorrow. Thank you, Jackie. The fact that Jack was here on a gap year shows something of his adventurous spirit which brought him from New Zealand to England. And it was now 3 years ago that they met and realised they wanted to continue seeing each other. This was a little tricky because Jack was based in London and Laura was based here in Manchester, but the train service is excellent between the two cities. In one of those twists of fate, Jack was offered a transfer to Liverpool after 6 months, and of course he took this opportunity to be closer to Laura. Over time, there were trips to Cornwall to visit Laura's family and to several music festivals in the summer months, and a growing feeling that they'd known each other forever. Jack says he realises Laura was the only one for him when he was due to return to New Zealand and couldn't bear the thought of not seeing Laura for several months. In his enthusiasm, he asked if she would consider taking a year out of work and go with him. Laura sensed this was a turning point for her, and as she says, you have to say yes to something mad at least once in your life. This was her yes. Their 1 year trip extended to nearly 2 years, and some of you here today became friends with them during that time. This life-enhancing trip meant they both had to give up their jobs, but travelling to some far-flung places and experiencing so many incredible things together has created an unshakable bond between them. They're now back, as you can see, and settled in the UK for this part of their lives, and they've both come back up to Manchester. Laura has a spiritual home in Cornwall, never far from the sea, and for Jack, growing up by the beach in New Zealand means they have a deep bond with coastal living. Part of our celebrations today will honour this aspect of their lives. One day they plan to have a house by the sea, and I am convinced that they will achieve all their life dreams together. We've now reached the point where I'm going to ask Jack and Laura to stand up once more, and I'd like everybody to stand. This is the moment when they make their commitment to each other. Jack and Laura, you have undertaken to commit your love and future together as a couple. Moving forward, you have pledged to look after each other and to face challenges with understanding, tolerance and patience. You want everybody here to know that you make these promises and vows with them as a witness to your love for each other and your commitment to your future life. Please hold hands and repeat after me. Jack, you're going to go first. Laura, from this day forward.
Laura, from this day forward.
I promise that I will do my absolute best.
I promise that I will do my absolute best.
To nourish and cherish you each day.
To nourish and cherish you each day.
I am so thankful to you.
I am so thankful to you.
For opening up my heart.
For opening up my heart.
And filling it with love.
And filling it with love.
I pledge that I will honour.
I pledge that I will honour.
Who you are.
Who you are.
And care for you in times of illness and darkness.
And care for you in times of illness and darkness.
And walk alongside you back into the light.
And walk alongside you back into the light.
These promises
I
make with my soul.
I make with my soul.
Laura, this is your moment when you formally bring Jack into closer harmony with you. Jack, from this day forward.
Jack, from this day forward.
I promise that I will do my absolute best.
I promise that I will do my absolute best.
To nourish and cherish you.
To nourish and cherish you.
Each day.
Each day.
I am so thankful to you.
I am so thankful to you.
For opening up my heart.
For opening up my heart.
And filling it with love.
And filling it with love.
I pledge that I will honour.
I pledge that I will honour.
Who you are.
Who you are.
And care for you.
And care for you.
In times of illness and darkness.
In times of illness and darkness.
And walk alongside you.
And walk alongside you.
Back into the light.
Back into the light.
These promises I make with my soul.
These promises I make with my soul.
Thank you. Please everybody be seated. And Jack and Laura, will you come to the table with me? Now, when we all first met, Jack and Laura were keen to create a lasting symbol of today. And with each of them growing up by the sea, they've chosen to represent this bond with our special sand ceremony. You'll see that there's a heart-shaped bottle that I have here, which is gradually going to be filled up as we go through this ceremony. In front of me I have sands of different colours, all chosen by Jack and Laura to symbolise different things, which I'll explain as we go along. They'll each pour their own smaller bottles contents into the larger one, and as the sand pours in, it'll be an act, a symbol, a real symbol of their togetherness, because once you mingle sand, it cannot be separated. So first of all, Jack and Laura have chosen the plain sand colour to represent their own childhoods, each growing up by the coast, as yet unaware of each other in the world. So Jack, if you go first, and then Laura. That's right, it's just the sand layer, that's great, thank you. Our next colour is blue, to represent the oceans of the world and the travelling they would have to do in order to meet each other. So Laura, you go first. That's it. And then Jack. Jack now wishes to add green to represent England's famous green and pleasant land, where of course the couple first met. This is Jack. Thank you. Laura's personal choice is red, to match the passion for life they both share, their own passion for each other, and the many sunsets they've witnessed around the world. And finally, the top layer is white. For both Laura and Jack, this is the purity of their love, you can pour that, their faith in each other, and the perfect union that they share. And here you can see all the different layers of sand. Now, I have one extra thing which is a bit of a surprise for you, Jack and Laura. Your family wanted to represent each country as well within these rituals. So can Laura's mother and Jack's father join us, please? Laura, your mum wants to say something. Laura's mum. This is a small shell from our Cornish beach for the bottle to remind you of your roots. And she hands Laura a shell on a ribbon, which will get tied around. Jack's father. And Jack, here is a shell all the way from New Zealand to remind you of your roots. Lovely. So thank you so much. So we have a shell from Cornwall and a shell from New Zealand. Thank you all for creating such a personal and unique part of the ceremony, and please, you can join your hands. Thank you. Now, after that beautiful ceremony, Jack has invited his brother Finn to read a poem by the New Zealand poet Rana Hia.
If a raindrop was a kiss, I'd send you showers. If a hug was a minute, I'd send you hours. If a smile was just one drop of water, I'd send you the ocean. If happiness was a colour, I'd send you a rainbow. If love was a snowflake, I'd send you some snow. If a leaf was a miracle, I'd send you a forest. If good health was a moonbeam, I'd send you a moon. If climbing a hill can keep you young, I'd send you a mountain. If hope could be found in just one sparkle, I'd send you diamonds. If one shining star could grant you a wish, I'd send you the Milky Way. If paradise was a country, I'd send you New Zealand. If you needed a friend, I'd send you me.
Lovely, thank you. Thank you, Finn. Well, now we come to the exchange of rings between Jack and Laura. Now, Jack entrusted these rings to a particular friend who can get a little bit excited. So please bear with us. Trixie, this is your moment. This is Trixie's Jack Russell Terrier. No, Jack Russell Terrier. Here we go. Right, wait a minute, Trixie. I'm just going to take this off. Yes, thank you, thank you, thank you. Lovely. Thank you, Trixie. It's playing such a pivotal part in our ceremony today. Now, this moment brings us together to all that has gone before. A wedding ring is a complete circle. A circle has no beginning and it has no end. It symbolises the never-ending love of Jack and Laura for each other. By the giving of a ring, Jack and Laura proudly display that endless love. And this ring acts as a constant reminder for each of them of the presence of the other in their life. Jack, please take Laura's hand, left hand in yours, and place the ring on her fingers and say after me, "This ring is a sign."
This ring is a sign
of my commitment to you.
Of my commitment to you.
From this day onwards.
From this day onwards.
As we embark upon.
As we embark upon.
Our life together.
Our life together.
Laura, will you take Jack's left hand in yours, and as you place the ring on Jack's finger, say after me, "This ring is a sign."
This ring is a sign.
Of my commitment to you.
Of my commitment to you.
From this day onwards.
From this day onwards.
As we embark.
As we embark.
Upon our life together.
On our life together.
You may kiss, please do, and can we show our thanks and appreciation of this lovely couple in the time-honoured way. So I'd like to thank all of you for coming to this incredibly special day, and in a moment you'll be invited to raise a glass to the young couple. When I first met Laura and Jack, I was immediately struck by the affinity of them with nature and their shared joy at being together. There was a lot of laughter as we discussed the ceremony and how they wanted it to unfold. And it became clear that this is a couple who was always pulled together in the same direction. That ability will see them through the challenges ahead, and they will come, of course. They hope to have children one day, and they will truly be children of the world, not only of one nation. The love and care we all show each other is underlined by patience and tolerance, and the world certainly needs some Jacks and Lauras at the moment, perhaps now more than ever. May I invite Trixie once more to lead you back amongst your friends, this time as Mr. and Mrs. Penrose. Well done.